area moving toward and just west of Jewel and along I-35. Now, there could be some gusty conditions outside of this as that heavy rain continues to fall. We have had that tornado warning that was just put into effect from the National Weather Service. It's all moving to the north at about northeast at about maybe 20, 25 miles per hour. Staying out by around 4 o'clock. And we want everybody along Highway 17 back over to Highway 69 and I-35 to be weather aware. And, of course, we have high school football going on. Lots of these teams and those folks preparing for those games are already out there, so make sure you're watching because lightning is a significant threat here in the short term. I think this system will continue to progress and kind of fall apart as we go through about kickoff time, which is 7 o'clock. But before that, those folks that are prepping, make sure that you're watching for that. Now, again, this does not include the entire state. This is right between Highway 30, Highway 69, and I-35, so just north of Huxley and then moving toward Ames and Story City. It moves, that storm line moves all the way back down into that area across I-35. So if you are traveling, bear that in mind. And notice how the low pressure system out behind me is swirling in this motion. So it's going to continue to pull in this heavy rain, gusty wind, the possibilities we mentioned, these small spin-up tornadoes, the funnel cloud that we saw earlier. This is one that we're going to watch closely because as we notice with these storms, they often pop up and then quickly fall back down, but that tornado threat is certainly there as we go through the rest of this afternoon into the evening hours until 8 o'clock for that tornado watch, Jerry.
I want to go through some new information that just came in, and this was as of 3:33. Right now, the time is 3:36. We want to show you the radar view with this information. But this severe thunderstorm capable of producing a tornado located over Gilbert or near Ames, moving north at a speed of around 20 miles per hour. So again, this is not a confirmed on the ground. And as we mentioned earlier in the day, we are seeing the dynamics for rotation here, but this typically is a weaker type of tornado. And we know we have storm spotters out right now checking out the situation. But these are the areas of concern right now at around 3:36 in the afternoon. All right, there's our view of Gateway Hotel in Ames. And you can see it is raining around the Ames area. And that's tornado warning does remain in effect until 4:15 at this point. We're watching the winds here at the surface moving around out of the south, 20 to 30 miles per hour, but we are also seeing an east wind push in, and the boundary has been just stalled out in between Stratford and around the Ames area. We're checking the wind speeds right now, and as you can see, there's nothing increasingly strong across the state, but because we have winds moving in two directions, we actually have a low pressure system spinning in. That's what's leading to the rotation right now with that tornado warning that remains in effect until 4:15. We want to remind you, if you are in northwestern Story or northeastern Boone County, that the best place to be right now would be in the lowest area of your home. This is not an ideal time because I know a lot of kids getting out of school right now as well, but we want you to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. It's not a good time to go to the window. And again, the strongest part of the storm is just north of the Ames area in between Gilbert and right around Story City as the storm system tracks off to the north, again at a speed of around 20 miles per hour. Ed, back to you.
Yeah, I'm just watching some of the details. We have a couple of storm spotters that are out right in that area. Again, they did not observe what a couple of people apparently saw, maybe that funnel cloud lowering down toward the ground, but no observation of tornadoes. As I said, though, that is some heavy rain, as you saw from our camera up at Ames, right across Highway 30, a little bit farther south of this, but that's where we're really concerned. And you can see from the velocity, usually if we're really concerned about a tight spin on a tornado, it would be that red to the green, that in and out flow. It still does have a bit of a flow just south of Gilbert, but I don't want to put any, a lesser effect on this. Want to make sure that you're still taking shelter. If your kids are at home, maybe at this time, turn up the TV. Make sure you have the 13 Warn Me app with you, and make sure that they're staying safe. And if you're at home by yourself, just get to the lowest level of the building you're in. Put as many walls between you and the outdoors as possible. But again, this is that tornado safety that we talk about so often. That inside area, right into the center of your area. The bathroom often has some some of the pipes, especially back in the day, we used copper and hard pipes in the walls, but you want to put as many walls between you and the outside as possible. Do not stand in your garage with the garage door open. That acts as kind of a catch-all for that wind. It actually can do a lot of damage. I know it's kind of counterintuitive from living in Iowa. We all want to go out and watch this weather, but make sure that you put as many doors or as walls between you and the outside as possible. Best place, of course, is in the basement, if you have a basement in your house, and stay away from windows. That debris can flip through those windows and quickly cause much more damage, but also the increase of injury to your body with that glass breaking and then flying into your home. So make sure that you're watching that. The 13 Warn Me app always has our interactive radar there for you, and Mega Doppler S, of course, with our team right now, Gabe, Pro, myself, and Jerry Ann right here, keeping you updated and safe throughout this situation. Highway 69 and back over to around Highway 17. This is that really the line that this is all moving straight to the north and to the east. That's where we have, again, that tornado warning. It looks like, again, that may have been, again, just maybe taken out by the National Weather Service. But this is that moment where you want to be careful, watch for these systems tonight. And again, with high school football going on, the lightning strikes are what they really watch out for. And in fact, a reminder there for our high school games, if they see lightning within 10 miles of any of our stadiums, they will postpone that game for at least 30 minutes. So there may be some postponements, but I think generally this system is going to move back farther to the north and the east and lose a bit of its punch as we get closer to kickoff, which is around 7 o'clock. We'll be here to keep you updated with Storm Team coverage coming up today at 4. Jerry Ann will be here for your 4 o'clock news. I'll be here at 5 and 6. Gabe, Pro as well. Our Storm Team coverage will continue from WHO 13.
Canceled in Story County, but this one has now just been issued. And I can see a hook right there near Highway 65, if we can go in closer on radar to show exactly where that rotation would be possible with this tornado warning. And we've got winds moving in 2 different directions. This would be north of the Mingo area. And again, that's where we're seeing the potential for that rotation. And I know we've got a lot of spotters out as we do have prime conditions for weak tornadoes to pop up here over the next couple of hours. Again, it's 3:47. If you're thinking about leaving your house, it's better to stay in your house right now. Put as many walls between you and the outside. That tornado warning is in effect now for northeastern Polk County as well as northwestern Jasper County. And we're putting a track on it. Ed Wilson over on the radar there, and you want to walk us through the track, Ed? Okay. Yeah, that's okay. We'll get Ed's microphone on here. But as we track this tornado warning, again, the strongest part of the storm is moving extremely slow off to the north at a speed of around 10 miles per hour. And it is tracking near the Farrar community here right before 4 p.m. Ed Wilson, now we have you on radar, or we have your microphone working, and we have you showing the radar. So let's walk through the latest on this tornado warning.
So you can see how isolated this is. It is for that Polk County area back over to Jasper County, moving to the northeast. The polygon kind of shows the direction. So where it goes from the smaller area back to that wider area, that's the direction. We want to make that it's moving. You want to make sure that you are seeking shelter. And Jerry Ann, as you mentioned, this one looks a bit more impressive than the one we saw up in the Story County area. It is along the leading edge of this very thin line of stronger thunderstorms, but these spin-up tornadoes, the situation is set up perfectly for this to happen, and they are expected to be isolated, not a widespread outbreak, but you want to take this very seriously. So right across Highway 65, this is the area, the south and east of Maxwell, near the Collins area. You see Mingo just down to the south, closer to I-80, but Highway 117. Please seek shelter here. If you're in this area, this is where we're going to see the possibility of that spin-up. Now, the radar indicated tornado means that they're watching at the National Weather Service. The radar's just as we are, but they're showing that inflow and that outflow, and this is what Gabe is showing for us now, the winds happens is actually the velocity. So the radar is able to show where the wind is moving to and from, away from the radar. And when we have these tighter scopes here with that red to the green, that indicates that it is starting to spin up a little bit. It's not pronounced, as we would say, as a classic large tornado. So this is still one you need to take seriously and seek shelter if you're in this area, right here across Highway 117 where it meets Highway 65. Make sure that you're watching that. And if you have travel plans, I know a lot of folks are out getting ready for high school football tonight, maybe traveling to some of our games. Keep your 13 Warn Me app with you. It will keep you updated on this. But from that area that is now in that highlighted red, this is within that tornado watch that extends until 8 o'clock tonight. But this warning for now is just moving to the north and to the west out of that Highway 65, Highway 17 corridor. Also some extreme heavy rain, heavy downpour, and maybe even some small hail is possible with this. Jerry Ann, more information your way.
Well, I was just looking at the radar picture here over the last 10 minutes, and the one thing that I'm noticing is it goes from having a hook to not. So these are spinning up brief tornadoes and then weakening rather quickly as well. So I do want people at home to know that the situation is changing abruptly. And earlier, I think we started here around 3:30, we had a brief tornado warning in effect for Story County that weakened within 10 minutes. So thankfully, these tornadoes overall are short-lived, and from what we can tell on radar at this point, relatively weak. So they shouldn't be on the ground very long, and they shouldn't be leading to extensive damage. So I just wanted to share the trend that I was seeing with radar. Ed, we'll take it back to you to walk through more on this tornado warning that remains in effect for parts of Jasper and Polk County until 4:15.
Got it. Yeah, and it looks like that hail smaller than 3/4 inch diameter. That's usually where we see a severe thunderstorm warning, when we have that 1/2 inch diameter hail. But this, again, was spotted earlier in that northwestern, or the northwest of here, back up into Story County, where we did have a funnel cloud. So that may have been what the observance was here as well. I know that we have storm spotters out. I haven't seen anything of significance from any of their reports. I've been checking with them throughout the last several minutes. But these are, well, within heavy rain. It could be within that instance where we have kind of a rain-wrapped situation with a funnel cloud or a possible tornado. But again, as Jerry Ann mentioned, really the dynamics on this with our velocity scope showing that it's not quite as prominent. Now, it did have that hook on it. We still are within this 2 out of the 5 threat level with that slight risk tonight in that yellow area, and it only will extend until about 8 o'clock tonight. So again, just stressing that there are many things going on a Friday night this time of the year. High school football, just one of those things. Make sure that you're keeping weather aware. Another great tornado safety tip for us comes with this particular graphic. Stay away from windows, doors, and the outside. Put as many outside walls between you and the inside as possible. So the many walls between you, and of course, stay in the basement. That is the safest place to be. Stay away from those windows, and watch to make sure you stay outside of a garage. A lot of people will open up a garage, sit down on lawn chairs, and watch these storms moving through. We know that's kind of the Iowa thing to do, but that garage actually acts kind of like a catcher's mitt for those high impact winds that can be a part of this and can do more damage to your house. Better to keep the garage door closed. Here's that tornado warning. Still just down around Highway 65 and Highway 117. Now we're starting to see a little bit of a notch here, but not as concerning. Possibly at this moment, we'll put velocity on this as well. Game Pro back there showing us exactly in the Weather Center where our velocity scope is showing a little bit of that red to green, but not as strong as what we would say a large tornado. And we also look for debris fields. If we had damage, something that the tornado might have hit, like a building, a small building even, that would go up aloft, and the radar really picks that up. It's called a debris ball, and it shows off very, very distinctly. So not quite as much as what we would see here for a severe or a large tornado. Certainly severe thunderstorm warnings are possible, but these isolated spin-up tornadoes, and what they do is they kind of pulse. They'll get up to a little bit of speed and then quickly fall back down. I think that's what's happening within this area. But make sure that you're seeking shelter. Even within this little spot, we saw that tornado warning going right through this afternoon. We're getting ready for our 4 o'clock news, and we'll continue with our storm team coverage. A lot of news going on today as well. That tornado warning in effect until 4:15 for this western portion of Jasper and that northeastern portion of Polk County. The hail size, less than 3/4 of an inch in diameter, but we're most concerned with any type of tornado formation, of course. With people traveling right now, that's going to reduce visibility across that area, very close to I-35. This is a very thin band, a very small, thin line, which showed up very well on our forecast maps yesterday. We were watching that and thinking, it looks like a spaghetti string, and that's exactly what's going on right now. So that line of stronger thunderstorms right across Highway 65 north and to the east of Highway 330, where 65 and 330 come together, that diagonal that moves up toward Marshalltown. That's where we're really watching at this moment. If you live in this space, and of course we've had a lot of extra development in this area, very prime real estate right now for a lot of extra areas, but or extra building, that is where we want to make sure you're seeking shelter. They just had that debris, which that particular scope for velocity would show maybe something that tornado may have hit. We have not heard of any damage. Don't take this out of context, but if we saw that, you would see a debris ball, and it really shows up really brilliantly on our radar. You can see that as we kind of take this out into perspective, these will be strong to severe thunderstorms, possibly an isolated tornado, but nothing on a widespread level. And this, it looks exactly, we could have put this right on top of the map that we used last night from Fort Dodge all the way down to Oskaloosa and Ottumwa, where this line started to form and or was forming on our forecast. It has formed today. I think another thing that has kept us out of this widespread tornadic activity is more cloud cover today. If we would have broken into a lot of sunshine, you can see the breaks that are down to the south of us. That's certainly feeding a little bit of energy in, but we would have had a much more serious situation. It is a tornado warning for Polk County and Jasper County, the eastern side of Polk County, western side of Jasper County, going until 4:15. You can see how isolated it is. And then on the wider scope, we do have that tornado watch that does include Polk County and then all the way back up to Grundy, Blackhawk County, all the way down into southeastern Iowa through Marshall County, all the way into Jasper County until 8 o'clock tonight. That may be trimmed back as well. But right now, folks in Maxwell, be on the watch for this. It is moving to the north and the east at a slow pace. Here's that watch, as Gabe is just showing us now, until 8 o'clock for all of the counties highlighted in yellow, including Fort Dodge, back over to Webster City, across that I-35 corridor. This is going to be a busy time for sure, possibly as we go through the evening. But we want to make sure that for those high schoolers, you be weather aware, not just for tornadoes, but lightning strikes. I know a lot of folks want to be out in those bleachers tonight, and that is a perfect scenario for serious weather conditions that could cause injury. The rest of the state, outside of this particular little thin parameter, you don't have to worry quite as much. Want to make sure that you're weather aware. Lightning can strike from as far as 10 miles away, and that, again, is not worth just trying to get out and watch a game for sure. We will see some moderate to heavy rain after this as we go through the evening hours. That will start to die down even by 9 or 10 o'clock tonight. I think we'll be out of the threat of severe thunderstorms or heavy thunderstorm activity. Overnight, we're really going to change things up. It's going to cool off by the weekend. For the moment, though, there's our storm path. We are going to see that 8 o'clock kind of circular motion. The low pressure is out to the west of us, just southwest of Des Moines. It's going to be moving right across that I-80 corridor. It's going to temper down our rain, but it's going to kick up the wind, and it is going to be a cold wind for your Saturday. Jerry Ann, in here in just a couple of minutes, will have your full forecast as well, but it will be a big change on Saturday. You're going to notice that for sure, those temperatures really cooling off. At the bottom of the screen, you're finding all of our warnings. Also, that 13 Warn Me app, you need to stay updated there. And, of course, Iowa's Weather Channel. We want to make sure that you're watching that throughout the day. I'll be here to update that for you after our 5 o'clock news, and we'll get that, again, 24-hour service for you right there on Iowa's Weather Channel. Here's Polk County, back over to Jasper County. That warning still in effect until 4:15. It is moving slowly to the northeast. I don't see any extra information that I've seen some storm spotters. Jerry Ann, anything off of our weather chat?
people to stay weather aware right now. There is one small tornado warning in effect yet for Jasper and Polk, and that's in effect until 4:15. I did see some pictures from the brief touchdown of the tornado that we reported earlier around 3:30 in Ames, and overall that just showed a weak tornado there in the distance. We're not getting any reports of damage, thankfully, but the one tornado that did touch down around Story County. Heavy rain reports coming out of northwest Iowa. Again, that happened just after 3 o'clock this afternoon. Real quick, let's just show you the big picture on radar in case people are just joining us right now wondering what's going on. We have a very narrow band of showers and thunderstorms associated with the boundary that's pushing slowly off to the north. Right now it's producing heavy rainfall and some rotation as well. Fort Dodge, Ames area, that's putting that into motion. Thank you, Gabe Pro, for showing us that storm system. For the most part, the city of Des Moines and areas to the south and west of Des Moines are in the clear right now. The strongest part of the storms will stay north and east of this boundary. We are going to take a commercial break. Get ready here for the 4 o'clock news, and we'll be back. Oh, no, we're going to stay with this storm system, which is helpful, so thank you for letting me know that. Ed, you got something else you want to talk about here real quick?
I'll just take it back here. And, of course, you're watching WHO 13 from Des Moines, the NBC affiliate here in Des Moines. And we want to make sure that you're staying weather aware. But look how thin this line is, that one tornado warning there that we have still going on in Polk and Jasper County. I did receive some video, actually, from the storm that we had as a tornado warning up in Story County. A brief funnel cloud, possible touchdown there. Did have some video from Ken Pink, a friend of mine, and I'll be sharing that on Facebook here in just a minute. But thankfully no damage done there. Just between that area back up from Ames to Gilbert is where we were watching that storm take over earlier today, right at 3:30. It's been a busy half hour. We have not seen this type of weather for a long time, so just a reminder, when we have a tornado watch, that means that weather conditions are favorable for severe weather, but if we have a warning, as we do right now, that means that there has been a sighting, or whether from radar or from spotters, that there is a tornado possibly in this area between just around the northeastern corner of Polk County and then back over to Jasper County. For reference, that's north of I-80 and just to the east of I-35. Highway 65 and Highway 330, that's called the diagonal that goes all the way back up to Marshalltown. So we have the Bondurant area here, and then just north of there, just north of Mingo is where we're finding this storm. And that polygon shows that movement of that storm, but I can see it just falling apart here as we speak, and this is kind of the perfect template when we say a spin-up tornado situation. This means it's going to be a very fast-moving, just spinning up and then falling back down very quickly. And Jerry Ann, you have more info as well.
Yeah, we're going to start the 4 o'clock news here with my friends Lindsay and Aaron. We're going to obviously be tracking this storm system for you. But what we are seeing right now, there is that one tornado warning still in effect for about the next 15 minutes. We're going to be watching radar closely. We did have a reported tornado around the Ames community. But again, this type of weather setup is favorable for weak, short-lived tornadoes. So we're seeing these touch and go right back up and weaken. So if there was a tornado to have, we like those because they're relatively weak. They are producing a lot of thunder, lightning, heavy rainfall, and we've had hail reports as well. So we're going to start off the 4 o'clock news here with some weather.
Okay, we appreciate it. And everybody needs to stay weather aware. I mean, we were talking in the dressing room. People get upset, obviously, when we're cutting into programming. But there is good reason for it.
Yeah, we only break in if there is a tornado warning in effect, and that was the situation this afternoon. And we continue to have that tornado warning going. So we're going to start off with weather here off the top so I can update you on what's going on. This is why that tornado warning is in effect. We do have winds at the surface moving one way, winds up in the upper levels moving a different direction, and they're strong in both levels of the atmosphere, which is creating a spinning motion. So we are getting reports of these weak touchdown of tornadoes. Right now, this is where there are these spin-up tornadoes occurring, and that would be just south of the Maxwell area, also just south of Collins, right along Highway 65 and Highway 30. Now, based on, as we go in closer there, the winds are starting to weaken somewhat, but what we've been watching with this weather pattern throughout the afternoon is how, and there's very little rotation showing up there right now, But again, it happens and then it stops. It happens and then it stops. So that's why we want you to take some extra precautions. Now, based on that, it looks like the tornado warning has now been lifted. It has just been canceled. So let me walk through the radar picture for you real quick and update you on this storm system. And we do have showers and thunderstorms advancing slowly to the north. We've been focusing on the one in central Iowa here, but as you can see, these are slowly rotating around this system. This is where the greatest threat is for strong to severe thunderstorms over the next couple of hours. I do think by 7 o'clock we will see these storms continue to weaken. I do want to walk you through storm path here, and you can see how they go from the brighter, intenser colors to light blue, and that's just indicating some light rainfall continuing to spin in. Now, Saturday will start off cloudy and damp, but in the afternoon, it does look dry. Here's a breakdown of the numbers over the next couple of hours. It is going to get cold and windy if you're headed to a football game tonight, and it's going to stay chilly throughout the weekend. Once again, it looks like highs only in the 50s for highs. With the added winds, it will continue to feel much, much colder. I want to go back one more time just to this radar image so you can see what's going on here, as we do have that narrow band of strong to severe thunderstorms setting up really in between Ames and Altoona. So if you're in the city of Des Moines, you are not under the threat for these strong to severe thunderstorms, the hail or the spin-up tornadoes, but areas north of Ames or off to the north and east, you are going to continue to see the threat for strong to severe thunderstorms. But at this point, we have no warnings in effect, and that allows me to let my friends Aaron and Lindsay update you on some breaking news that occurred this afternoon. But we will break in once again if we are getting more reports of these tornadoes.